Overwatch Apex Season 3, energized by Hot 6, Round Robin. Today's matchup, LW Blue, Convox Spirit.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Apex Overwatch Season 3. It is day 2. We're going to get into Group C and Group D action today. I'm, of course, Atlas, and I'm joined for the very first time by Wolf. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. I'm glad we're actually finally in this match. It's been a long wait since our last matches on Friday.
Yeah?
There's a lot of storylines here in these groups from teams that have played since Season 1 of Apex. I know it's only 3 seasons now we're into, but there's already kind of a storyline built for these teams, where they've been, where they want to go. This is the teams that have not gotten a title yet. Luxury Watch Blue getting so far, so famed for their individual skill on their players, but still the cohesion not good enough to get them even to a grand finals here in Apex.
Yeah, and also they've made some changes as well. You mentioned the fact that there's a lot of skill there, and look, there's a lot of hype behind a new player of theirs called Pine. And look, we'll see whether he can actually perform now with his team on this stage, because we've all seen the highlight videos. We know what this guy's capable of, but can he now do it against Convox Spirit?
Yeah, Pine has always kind of been in the background for Luxury Watch,
yeah.
Kind of between red and blue. Some called him a coach, some called him a streamer, but no one could deny the highlight clips were there.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
a really strong Widowmaker player. There's whisperings that his McCree is godlike as well. And we'll see where we go for our first control map, because he's going to be starting for the roster today. And it feels like it's his opening match, even though he's been around for a long time and well-respected, for a long time because of his TF2 career, for example.
Yeah.
He's now back here, wants to play great matches in Apex in front of a great crowd. Here is our overview for the tournament. 200 million Korean won on the line in this tournament. Half of that will go to the first prize winner.
For you guys playing at home, that's about $200,000 US, approximately.
Yes.
You could probably go with. I was going to make a joke saying that it's actually worth more than that and it's just a ludicrously large sum of money, but I just don't want to mislead anyone.
Sure.
But certainly a lot on the line.
Yeah, don't forget each match has fight money as well here, so each match matters in that regard. Even if you're out of the group, you still get money if you win, more than if you lose. 80% versus 20% there.
Yeah.
So it's going to be another exciting season of Apex. On Tuesdays, of course, we'll be covering Group C and D, as Group A and B are on the Friday session, as you guys watched last week. We had some sick matches then, and I imagine today will be just the same. For those tuning in for the first time, if you're new to Apex, we have a group stage that goes into a double elimination quarterfinal, and then the semis is single elimination this time, a best of 7. Then we go into the grand finals.
Yeah, and there's a lot of games to be played as well. I mean, group play to start things off, though, and we'll see exactly which team's going to come out ahead in their groups. Of course, Groups A and B have already played a couple of their matches already, and that was previously, of course, Lunatic High once again with another reverse sweep, which was fantastic to see, and our runaway, the princess, I don't know, for some reason they feel like the protagonist in the storyline of Season 2 Apex, and unfortunately they got swept on our first day.
That's right. There seem to be rumors of health issues among the players. Hopefully they'll be back in form for our next matches. Of course, Group C and D, the groups we're covering here on Tuesday. Envious will be playing later on in this tournament. They are the 4th team, a part of Group D. And I think everyone is hoping we'd see that amazing, but we will see eventually Envious versus Meta Athena. That is going to be a great match to watch. And, of course, all the teams you see with asterisks did come from the promotion tournament from Super Week, Mighty AOD, X6, MVP Space, and Rhinos Gaming Wings. So really important that these teams are now challenging their way into Apex. Space is back. We'll see if they can perform better than they did in Season 1.
And unfortunately, Infinity leapfrogged their way out. There always seems to be at least one MVP team in Apex, but which one, you never really know. But let's go into how this format is going to work. Of course, starting off with Control, and then, of course, onto Assault, Escort, and then Assault, escort, assault, and escort.
Yep.
We're going to call it hybrid because, honestly, this just confused the heck out of me. I was like, oh, God, but it's just hybrid map, guys. You know
That's
exactly
right. Hybrid map, of course, being the map where you capture the payload first and then push it, and assault being what many people like to call a 2-point capture. Here are our rule changes coming from Season 2 to Season 3.
This is what you're excited about as well.
Tactical pauses are added, and you can have basically one timeout every match, which is super sick, so you actually have time to think about what you want to run on the next map, what map you want to pick, for example. Do you want to do a player substitution, which is now our other rule where you have 7 minutes to substitute a player in. You can do it once per match only, so you got to use it wisely.
And don't get swept as well. It's a best-of-5 series. You can only sub a player out after that third set. So make sure you can at least win one so that it actually means something, because swapping a player once it's over is not really going to do anything. Some slightly older patch notes just for some reminders, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, the most recent one was the Lucio changes.
Yeah, and Ana's a damage reduction as well, which has actually been quite significant. Makes Ana much less useful in general, but still, if you can hit those sleep darts, that's really what Ana is all about. Healing, it feels like, in damage, or just secondary. Lucio, so strong right now. His projectile speed increased massively. His damage as well as his healing boost. He has to be more aggressively positioned, but if you're a good Lucio player like the players in this tournament, it's not really an issue for you, but you definitely have to be careful about where you're moving with your teammates.
Yep, and of course today's matchups, LW Blue taking on Combox Spirit, and then afterwards Meta Athena against BK Stars as we have a look at Group D for the first time. But starting off today in Group C, and LW Blue, of course, doing very, very well in Season 2, finishing up third up against
Meta Athena.
Combox Spirit, who unfortunately had to struggle their way back and re-qualified themselves into Apex for Season 3.
That's right, and you know, this cool story about these two teams that we're casting today is Luxury Watch Blue and Meta Athena did play in that third, fourth place match, so they're not going to be playing against each other as they are in different groups, but it's the story of the two teams that nearly made finals but just could not quite make it, couldn't cut it. And look, Combox as well bringing in some really exciting Sombra play in the Super Week tournament. We saw a lot of Sombra play on control point maps and also on 2-point capture. So something I think we will absolutely see out of Twilight again today. Will he be able to utilize that Sombra to bring them a victory here? Yeah,
and I actually find it really, really interesting that you brought that up, because both of these teams have sort of clear playstyles that they favor as well. Of course, the pharmacy compositions for LW Blue is what they have self-proclaimed the best pharmacy composition team in the league. That's their opinion. Honestly, I'm not going to say anything, but we'll see whether it is actually going to be able to come out on top, because Combox Spirit are all about Twilight Sombra and making sure that they can utilize that, and we did see it, and it's just phenomenal to watch.
Yeah, we've seen it on several maps, Anubis, the Volskaya, Hanamura, the 2-point capture maps, also seeing it on Oasis specifically there as well. So if we end up seeing these maps, or if they pick these maps when they're behind in the series potentially, and Twilight does come out, he's one of the big carry heroes for the team right now. And it was a tactic that we hadn't seen used consistently really by anybody else except Twilight. He did it the best.
Yeah.
And I'm expecting that we're going to see this again today. And can Luxury Watch Blue be ready to shut that down is a big question mark going into this best-of-5.
Especially when they've changed up their roster as well, and we'll be looking at Pine to see whether he can actually answer any of this, because Twilight on that Sombra is very, very slippery, able to get in around the back and make things happen, and that EMP is just so incredibly powerful. And we all know that that ultimate charges incredibly quickly, but it seems like Twilight has it up almost again after every team fight. Like, it's just ridiculous how well this guy manages to get the work done on the Sombra. So, yeah, you're exactly right. If he doesn't get shut down, there could be massive problems here for LW Blue.
Sorry, I do want to tell everyone, of course, to get the word out about this tournament. It's going to be on every week, twice, Tuesdays and Fridays at the same time, 7 p.m. Korean Standard. And there's always usually a thread on the competitive Overwatch subreddit, so you can go discuss there. It's kind of up at the top, sticky up there. So go and discuss the matches there with your friends. Don't watch alone. Be in the Twitch chat as well. And it's going to be great Apex action once again, just like the first two seasons, and it's regular Apex action twice a week. The schedule does not change, so you always know you can mark your calendar, stay up all night, and we're going to be here bringing you the Overwatch action.
Yeah, absolutely, and you can rely on us to be as excited as you are as well, especially when you've got matches like we have today. Given the fact that we've got new players, we've got teams re-qualifying, trying to get themselves back into the top of Apex, and it's such a new tournament as well. I mean, we're only in the third season, man. It feels like anything can happen, and Overwatch is constantly evolving and changing. So
yeah, It's a new game as well, and you know we had a World Championship at BlizzCon, now 3 seasons of Apex, and Overwatch League is coming up, but you've got new heroes being added to the game, constant updates to patches. Well, let's take a look at our opening video for these
원래
first two
이번 시즌
teams.
가장 강력한 우승 후보였는데
맞습니다.
정말 약간의 차이 거의 다 왔었는데
새 시즌 동안 하고 있긴 한데 저희가 원하는 우승을 하지 못해서 아직까지는 좀 미련이 좀 남는 그런 기분이에요 지금. 맨날 항상 그게 있어요. 저희가 잘 돼가지고 공격 먼저 하자 하면 그 라운드 졌어요. 주체를 못하는 것 같아요. 그냥 다들. 왜 항상 저희는 이럴까요? 이번에 LW 레드였던 파인 선수가 LW 블루로 들어오게 됐는데 지금 플라워 선수의 손목이 별로 좋지 않아서 둘이 로테이션 형식으로 바꿔가면서 할 것 같아요. 파인도 플라워 못지않게 챔프폭도 넓고 실력도 출중하니까 이번 시즌도 기대 많이 해주셨으면 좋겠어요. LW 블루의 강점은 특유의 포커싱 콜.
이거 2점 갔죠? 2점 갔어? 이게 말이 되냐고요? 이게 LW를 재평가할 수 있는 부분이 이런 부분이죠? 근성이라고 해야 될까요? 뒤로 밀리고 있을 때 끝까지 밀어붙이 이런 힘이 대단했습니다.
시즌 3 때도 시즌 2와 다름없이 그냥 돌진조합이 유행할 것 같아요. 파해법이 많이 없는 것 같아서 저희가 기량이 더 좋으면 이기니까 요즘에는 그냥 개인 기량 올리는 데 많이 집중하고 있는 것 같아요. 저희 팀의 키플레이어는 세르비예요. 왜냐하면 애가 조금 이상하긴 하지만 대회만 들어가면 항상 슈퍼플레이를 해주고 저번 시즌과 같이 똑같이 활약을 해줄 거라고 믿고 있기 때문에 세르비를 키플레이어로 생각하고 있어요. 시즌2 결승전에 저희 팀원들이랑 화정체육관으로 직관을 갔었는데 애들 다 너무 아쉬워했어요. 다 표정에서 딱 그거 보면서 아, 우리가 저기 있었으면 진짜 좋았을 텐데 약간. 시즌3에는 결승전 더 웅장한 데서 하겠죠? 정말 열심히 해서 꼭 결승 갈 테니까 결승표 예매해서 기다리고 계시면 될 것 같아요. LW 블루가 꼭 우승하겠습니다.
Massive confidence coming out from Luna here for Luxury Watch Blue. They want to go to the finals that they were unable to take last season. Instead of watching from the crowd, they want to be on stage, Atlas.
Yeah, and actually saying that they lack a little bit of control as well. So it's nice to hear something at least a little bit humble from Luna there as well. And understanding that they certainly are a team that could end up on that Apex stage. They were almost there this time around as well.
So here is, of course, the roster. Sylph is actually coming in from MVP Infinity, and Flower, because of wrist problems, will be playing tonight as a substitute player. Could be subbed in later on in the series. And it seems to be the reason why Pine is on the starting roster today is due to those wrist injuries that we just saw confirmed by Luna there. And Sebiobi is absolutely the star player, no doubt about it. His tracer play is on point. Meko on screen here, one of the more emotional players in Luxury Watch Blue. Definitely did take the loss in the playoffs very hard there as they were unable to make finals. But all eyes tonight seem to be on Pine. Can he do what Flower is unable to do because of wrist problems and live up to the hype, the expectations?
And we'll see whether it actually changes the team dynamic as well, because as soon as you change a star player like this, potentially, of course, because we don't actually know anything about how he's going to mesh with the team or work things out. We know that this guy has a lot of star power, but where is it going to go? And is it going to change LW Blue's style at all in the first place? I'm really excited to find out.
We will find out. We're going to take a look at their opponent's video here in just a moment. It'll be Combox Spirit.
이번 시즌의 콧박스 스피릿은 좀 달라요.
확실히 보완됐다. 이 정도면은 정말 8강 충분히 넘어설 수 있을 것 같아요.
저희 팀 폼박스 스피릿은 시즌2에서 16강에서 탈락했고 다시 한번 승강전을 통해 올라온 팀입니다. 매 시즌 시작할 때마다 느끼지만 무언가 열정을 쏟아부을 수 있다는 기회가 다시 오게 된 것 같아서 마음이 뛰어요.
콧박스 스피릿 손보라는 여러 번 통할 수 있습니다라는 걸 여러 번 보여줍니다.
저희 팀 같은 경우에는 여러 조합을 두루 하면서 승강전에서 보여줬던 손보라 같은 변칙 조합까지 연구하여서 예측할 수 없는 그런 조합을 만드는 게 목표입니다.
그 리빌딩이 굉장히 성공적이다라고 할 수 있을 정도로 아키텍트 선수와 애셔 선수의 이 활약이 정말 엄청나다. 더 강력한 모습 볼 수 있을 것 같아요.
이번에 저희 팀에 새로 들어온 두 선수는 애셔와 아키텍트인데요. 애셔 선수는 맥크리 트레이서 솔저 같은 히트 스캔류의 영웅을 다루고 아키텍트 같은 경우는 겐지부터 시작해서 거의 전 영웅을 고루고루 다루는 선수입니다.
야, 감수를 미소 짓게 하는 남자. 아키텍트.
나이가 어린 만큼 에너지가 넘치기 때문에 성장 가능성이 무궁무진해요. 그래서 저는 저희 팀의 키 플레이어를 아키텍트라고 생각합니다. 저는 새 시즌 시작할 때 잘할 수 있다는 생각보다는 최선을 다하겠다는 생각을 합니다. 감수하다라는 별명은 팬들 사이에서 약간 재밌고 저도 보면서 웃고 그러는데 저희 팀 딜러들한테 감수하다의 뜻을 메인 탱커가 아무것도 안 해도 이긴다의 뜻으로 바꿔달라 그냥 장난식으로 제가 그렇게 말하기도 해요. 이번 시즌에는 감수하다의 뜻이 바뀔 수 있도록 딜러들 많이 쪼아보겠습니다. 저희 팀은 이번 시즌을 준비하면서 서로의 생각을 공유할 수 있도록 연습을 많이 했어요. 시작이 좋은 만큼 더 많은 노력과 최선을 할 예정입니다. 기대를 많이 하셔도 좋을 것 같습니다.
And that was a lot more confidence coming out of Gamsu there. I mean, we saw on the side of LW Blue there was some doubt, but Gamsu seems to want to turn it all around. He ain't going to get Gamsu'd unless it's going to be a good thing this
That's
time.
right. And look, I feel like you can really feel the difference in how these two teams approach the game in these interviews. You look at Luna basically saying, we know dive is the way, and if you are good at diving, you will win the game almost every time. Whereas Gamsu and Combox approach the game in a totally different way. They want to break the meta, create a new meta, new strategies, new playstyles. They've brought both Architect and Asher both into the team. They're both killing it on Genji, but Architect is really one of the big carry players, I feel like. Sleepy Bear, don't sleep on his Roadhog either. This team is solid. They are the underdogs going to this series, but they've rebuilt, and they have this new Sombra style that may prove to be tough for Luxury Watch Blue to deal with.
And we'll see whether they actually can. Of course, Ash's Tracer is fantastic. Of course, got them through that promotion tournament pretty easily in Super Week, to be perfectly honest. We're doing some fantastic things. We'll see whether Combox Spirit can continue it here, because this is a tough matchup against LW Blue, who are so much more established from all of their successes in the last couple of seasons.
Combox Spirit feels like Runaway in a way in how they had a fairly mediocre previous season, then crushed the promotions tournament, showed a new style, and are coming back here to start things off with Season 3 on fire. We'll see how it plays out in this first series. We're going to take a look at most picked heroes by player. Sabielby definitely the key here, Roadhog and the Tracer. Of course, the rest of the members, no Apex results, as Pine, Architect, and Asher are just new players for these teams.
And we'll see whether they are going to be forming themselves some of these, I guess, expectations with some of these players, because Sabiel will be fantastic at a high variety of characters as well. And Pine, we want to see the Widowmaker, we want to see the McCree.
That's right.
Oh man, it'd be so exciting.
Remember, Sleepy Bear's Roadhog is really accurate, really strong, but he plays a mean Zarya, and Gamsu, of course, very famous for his Winston play. See if they get Gamsu'd. Giannis, a great Reinhardt, set up many great combos in the past. He's a Reinhardt that often will wait outside a doorway to look for the big Earth Shatter to get 3-man, 4-man, the kind of player that he is, so watch out for that.
Yep, the clutch plays. Gamsu, of course, known mostly for his Winston, but has played basically 50-50 of the two big tanks. We'll see who we're going to see more of. I have a feeling that it's going to be the Winston, though, because we're in a dive composition meta.
That's right.
We're going to be jumping right into these fights as quickly as we possibly can.
And we've even seen kind of a change into triple DPS with the dive nowadays with the matches we saw last Friday. So I expect we're going to see that trend continue. Now, Twilight here, it's not listed because he's only played really in the promotion tournament, but his Sombra is really the key. He played almost exclusively Ana beforehand with a little bit of Zenyatta, but his Sombra is what he's been really making a name for himself on. Many consider his Ana to be quite mediocre, so when he's not on the map where he's playing Sombra, perhaps he's not as useful as a teammate for his opponents to deal with.
And he has had some of sort of the clutch sleep darts, things like this, but you're exactly right. I mean, he's not the Ana players that you're sort of looking for purely that play. He can role play as the Ana, as we are going to be heading towards Nepal for our first control map of the day. And I find this one interesting because both of these teams absolutely love Oasis.
Yeah.
For very different reasons. However, both of them massively into it. However, Nepal's, it's like some similarities here. I feel like these strategies could be utilized for both.
Sure, it's different reasons why Luxury Watch likes Oasis, because they're so strong at the pharmacy comp, self-proclaimed best in the world, as you said earlier, and then with Combox loving the Sombra play, we'll see if Sombra comes into play on Nepal here. Feels much less likely, but we will very, very likely see Pines McCree, especially on Sanctum, where McCree is super popular right now. I'm excited to see how these two teams are going to approach the composition.
Yeah, and who's going to be able to come out on top. And with completely varying styles and strategies moving in, it's going to be very exciting. So let's get into game number 1 between Combox Spirit and LW Blue. We got it together for the first time, Wolf.
That's right. And I think
very exciting.
We'll be doing it much, much more often as we move into Nepal here. As mentioned earlier, if you're tuning in a little bit late, we are, of course, on the Lucio patch. The changes, Orisa available, but very unlikely to be used.
Gamsu trolling us a little bit potentially, but this is Combox Spirit. You know, they like to mix it up.
This is a map where Orisa can be used. It's really, most pros would say, still not great to use her here, but because of her halt, where she can pull enemies into the center of Sanctum, this is the map within Nepal where you want to see her used. And she may be able to pull some enemies in to get some free kills to start things off. But sadly, he was trolling us, so we're going into the Winston. He was
I
giving
really
all the fans a
appreciated
scare.
the fact that you got in there, though, you know? I like it.
I went in, I'd explain why it could be viable.
And ironically, it's actually going to be Combox Spirit that are going to be running the pharmacy composition this time around. LW Blue opting out.
Twilight on the Mercy. They want to have that Resurrect available to contest the point, as Pine will be playing the Soldier. Not going to be running the McCree composition, Luxury Watch Blue.
Yeah, and despite this map being inside, it actually has a lot of aerial space, so Architect will have a lot of room to move. You can see Sleepy Bear actually getting some nice picks. Architect picks up the first one, though, onto Luna. That's a support down, and that could mean Combox Spirit already with a lot of control to start this first point off.
They will, and Architect is just trying to build up as much as he can, looking for the concussive. Almost gets it there, not quite going to finish him off. With the Lucio chase there, Overwatch was looking to get him off. Not going to happen. But keep in mind that the Tracer pick is not really very common on this map, much less used. So it probably was used it for a while, but it's now switched since switched into the Roadhog, as we see our first visor being popped.
Yeah, Sleepy Bear getting a lot of damage down. That's the double kill as Mako's going to fall. Pine falls down as well. Not a great debut so far. 30% now on the point. Some regrouping necessary here for LW Blue.
Rez is going to be available soon. The Rocket Barrage is also very close to being done, as we see another switch for Sabiel, but he's now his third here, starting with the Tracer, then moving into the Roadhog, finding value on neither, and switching now finally into the McCree. So it's going to be Pine again on that Soldier for the double DPS.
Yeah, now looking for Architect. Some decent damage. Sabiel be giving it a try as well. They're just trying to answer Architect, who's getting so much work done. Sabiel picks up one, but there's the Nano Visor. Pine doing some work, but can't quite find the targets. He's got Architect down, so that's very, very important. Now he just gets rezzed.
Yep, they pop the res here. Asher has that Pulse Bomb available. Here's the
Rocket
big Rocket Barrage.
Massive damage. Both supports already dead for LW Blue, and it's only Mako that survives. He's just going to have to get the heck out of there. Tries to die as quickly as possible. Just jumps off the edge.
This is the problem with using this much resources to try to take a point and failing. Using the Nano Visor, now they don't really have very good tools besides the Sound Barrier to retake this against Combox, who's going to have the delay tactics here with Winston having his ult available. The Sound Barrier going to be up soon, and Sleepy Bear nearly with the Visor. So this is going to be a near impossible take for LW Blue, but they're going to have to try it anyways.
Yep, Self-Destruct is there for some potential displacement, but see how they can do it. Sabiel will take it down very low, but there's the Sound Barrier on LW Blue. They're trying to survive, still lose Luna, as Architect is just untouched up in the sky. Mako can't do anything about it, and Combox Spirit is just beating them around. Gamsu does eventually fall.
Going to be a double here, and looks like Sleepy Bear going to use that Visor again. There's another tool they have to delay. LW Blue just doesn't have a way to close the distance anymore. They don't have the sound barrier. They used it there. They're going to have a visor in just a moment. That's their only tool. Overtime is started here by Giannis. Pops that barrier down onto the point.
Yeah, they should be able to actually get the switch in. No, booped off. Not going to be on the point anymore, and you can see Combox Spirit now fighting back. Lots of damage from Sleepy Bear off from the outside. Now it is the retake. The flip has come in.
Yep, Twilight did also use the res there to no avail, so that's not available anymore. May actually switch off. They have this massive lead. All they need to do now is bank up as many ults as they can to go for a follow-up push. If they can take it one time, they basically win this. That's kind of the power of having that early 99%. When your opponents have to pop all their ults to take it, you're going to have the ult lead, and you just need to have that one big fight. Well, it's actually going to stick with the Mercy. Not going to switch off. Wants to get one more big res.
Oh, good dash, and Rocket Barrage does nothing. Massive double kill here for Sabiolbi, and LW Blue are fighting back nicely, almost at 60%.
Sabiolbi showing why he is the star of the team here. Been looking for some more harass on the respawns to try to get another pulse. The side's better of it. Backs off here. We're approaching very quickly, though. LW Blue having multiple ults to defend Combox's big push. And with the pick on the Twilight, he's not going to have res available for their next attack, which is a big problem.
And that Rocket Barrage doing absolutely nothing is such a big deal as well. Architect looking to try and build that one up again as quickly as possible. Sabiolbi still being annoying off the backside.
It's about to have another pulse bomb. They pick up a double. This is a big problem here. There's the pick on the Architect as well.
Architect. Yeah, that self-destruct so useful in this wide open space that Farah's trying to abuse. Just couldn't get out of there in time.
Consistent picks onto the Mercy so important because that's exactly what this comp is designed to do, is to come in for a big fight, have the res to make sure they basically have a 12v6 in the fight as close as they can make it, but they don't have that res because Twilight's picked twice.
Well, we do have the sound barrier coming in. Thankfully, Gamsu got to that point, but there's Sleepy Bear, throws down the tac visor, but has to run away. There's some Primal Rage coming after him, and he can't stay in. LW Blue still fighting this one off, but this flip, if it comes through after a big fight, that is going to spell the end.
They want to buy time for that res. Twilight's at 86%. They are taking the point in terms of control right now.
Yeah, Asher still just dancing around off to the side. Don't quite manage to pick up that kill onto Giannis, but there it is. And Combox Spirit are fighting back. They almost have this flip. It is so close, and there it is. Overtime's going to wear off, and that was so much closer than originally anticipated.
Yeah, definitely much tighter there. And despite the fact that they took this, I feel like there's a lot of key issues with the setup here on the side of Combox. They had no real protection for Twilight. He died several times, and for running the Mercy like this, you need to be able to get that res more consistently, and that's where Sabiolbi came in, consistently picking him off, pressuring him, harassing him in the backlines. Did win this off of just one fight, even without the res, but it does raise questions going into the rest of this best of 3 on this map. If they can keep this up consistently, and perhaps maybe they shouldn't be running the Mercy if they can't get those reses.
Well, we are going to move over. Twilight's thinking about the Sombra. Of course, we can't be talking about this because we saw Arisa's being hovered and things like that, but would be excited to see what Twilight's going to be able to do, and it looks like we are going to commit.
Okay, he's going to go around the backside here. Look for the hack immediately. There it is. So that's going to be building up his ult percentage very quickly. EMP is the name of the game for Sombra, and Twilight is building it so consistently. Already looking for the harassment.
Oh god, just booped. Luna's going to throw some balls at him and take him down immediately. Twilight says, all right, well, I'm not going to be that aggressive anymore. Sleepy Bear taken down very low. May actually lose the mech as Combox Spirit to push back. That is going to be the first take, most likely here for LW Blue, and they do.
Yeah, it's a Twilight pick on Sombra, still not getting the value he's looking for, but as you can see, he's still at 55%. Quite a bit of that EMP. Architect will be on his famed Genji now as well. But the problem with the running a Genji with the Sombra is you don't have that nano boost to help you out to crush those team fights with the nano blade.
Yeah, Sabiolbi still just being frustrating off to the side. Good snap back. He's going to get that health back.
EMP is ready. Will they save it? No, they're just going to pop it down now. Not using it with the Dragon Blade. Architect is super close to it.
Oh my god, massive amounts of kills here as Mako's going to lose the mech and his life. Architect as well with the follow-up, and this could be the switch. As Combox Spirit have gone completely ballistic. Architect's going to fall down. The Sabiolbi still being frustrating. Has that Pulse Bomb available if he needs it.
Looks like it's going to be the flip regardless. Can't get in there to delay. They won it without even having the combo of the Dragon Blade together. Used it at the end for the cleanup. And that was actually a pretty cost-efficient exchange for Combox, because they really only used the EMP and the Dragon Blade, but they're going to have Sound Barrier available as well, and Twilight should have another EMP very soon for the defense.
Yep. And of course now Sound Barrier, like you mentioned, going to be very, very important. Tac Visor now here for Pine to throw it out if he wants to. Oh my goodness, Ash is just going to fall. That's going to be Gamsu falling down as well. Pine just smoking everyone right here as they're looking to try and get that flip to come through.
Both Pine and St. Bilby have not disappointed in this first map at all. They are killing it, showing their mechanical skills over and over again. Pine has had a crazy amount of ult uptime, even starting on Sanctum. It's just never been picked. He's been given the freedom to really harass from the backline because Giannis has always been properly positioned. EMP ready again here as Twilight's looking to come in for an angle.
And just pops his way back out there after some harassment, but you're right. EMP now being looked for. Sebiolbi up a little bit far, but everyone getting so close. We've almost got 6 ults on the side of LW Blue. Yeah, to try and control the rest of this, and they've just been so disciplined on ult usage. You mentioned Pine. I mean, he was killing everyone, didn't even need to throw down the ultimate. Nope, not going to find the pulse bomb there as Sebiolbi's trying to get some control. Just gets knocked off, but he can just dash back. Gamsu, just don't know whether this is going to be enough. Twilight's got the pick onto Pine. This could be important, but Mako's going to take down Gamsu. That front line's just not going to be available now.
Only have half the DPS really they want with the Tracer here, looking for the pick onto the Genji, not going to get it. But they're still holding on to the point strong. Another pulse bomb already here for Sebiolbi, despite the Diva eat earlier. There's now the pairing of the Dragon Blade and that EMP. I think they're going to have to use it here.
They need to get the desperation happening. That is going to be the self-destruct. In fact, a double coming in as we have hit overtime. Architect getting taken down very, very low, still on 25 health. This man has no fear. It also has no response, and yeah, so Combox is going to flip it.
So important. Sleepy Bear also eating that pulse bomb earlier on in the fight. Really good Diva play. Now they have so many resources to hold on to this point. They're going to have a pulse bomb, they have EMP and the Dragon Blade. So very cost efficient hold for them, whereas Luxury Watch Blue used almost everything, only the Primal Rage available. It was nicely done by Combox Spirit. Oh, looks for the drop down EMP, just going to buy time here. And you can do this without pairing it with anything because you build this ult so quickly.
They already have 2 picks though on the side of LW Blue. And without Architect, they're missing a lot of this damage. Combox Spirit forced off. And remember, this is at 99%. If we get a flip, this could just be it. As already Gamsu's going to fall down. Sleepy Bear as well. That is both tanks dead. And Pine just controlling this point now.
No one's able to get onto the point. They need that delay. Twilight almost with the EMP. Going to try to hang on here. He has the escape now. Drops it down. They need to hold this.
See whether they can actually do it. Massive damage. The double kill for the Sombra as well as Ash has gone nuts. Pine has managed to take down Architect, but I just don't know whether this is going to be enough. Operoshi's going to respawn, but he's just not going to be there. There's another pulse bomb here, and we've still got some control.
1 health. It goes down
God,
to Sleepy Bear. Oh, that's so important. That's so much lost DPS. He almost had the Tac Visor as well. Looks like Combox is going to get the hold here. Here comes Sebiolbi trying to delay some more time. They need Pine here on this point.
The ultra delay tactics are coming in, but Combox Spirit won't have any of it. That's the mech going down. The Diva to follow. Pine grabs 1 kill onto Gamsu, but I think that they're going to have the answer on the side of Combox Spirit. Oh, Tac Visor's in.
Oh, but he's taken out immediately. That should be the hold. It's going to go to a 3rd map here on Nepal. There you have it. Pine killed their Sleepy Bear with the pick. That was so important. Desync their spawns. And Sleepy Bear really with that amazing self-destruct as well. It gave them the cost-efficient take that led to their win there. And then Twilight having the good EMPs. I like how aggressively he uses it. You don't always have to have a massive pairing with it because everyone's EMP'd. You can just win the fight vanilla without using any other ults. You get another EMP, and then when it's desperate, that's when you pair it with the Dragon Blade, for example.
Well, a little bit unfortunate because both of these maps have been like full control and then come back to 99%, 99%. I mean, I feel like we don't necessarily have the consistency from either of these teams just yet. As it has been a flippy flip back type style at the beginning, but very well played by Combox Spirit to start things off.
And sometimes when it is that 99-99 split, the only fight that matters is the last one. And if you have the better ult setup, you're going to have the advantage going into that. And if your DPS player, Pine, is killed before he can get the Tac Visor off, and runs back to the point and uses it desperately alone, of course it's not going to work. And it was just better ult economy overall because of how Sombra works and that amazing 2-man self-destruct from Sleepy Bear.
Oh, just unbelievable stuff to start things off. But with that 2-0 from Combox, we are going to be moving towards our first hybrid. See what it's going to be. Oh, Numbani. Okay.
Okay, well,
I'm excited because I feel like Numbani's the map that everyone likes to experiment on.
well, Numbani is also Luxury Watch Blue's best map. They're undefeated at 3-0. And they love this map along with the Oasis, but this is their map that they're best on statistically next to Route 66. It's their very best hybrid map, so no surprise they pick it here. We'll see if Pine can help them hold that high ground at the first defense.
I'm actually really excited about this as well because you're exactly right. Favorite map for LW Blue, but Combox Spirit, I mean, their positive win rate maps are actually only on Escort and Hybrid. So you expect them to sort of perform in these sort of situations, but with a team proclaiming that this is our comfort, don't know whether that is necessarily going to be enough, but Combox Spirit have already started out the gate very, very fast. See how they go.
That's right. We're going to go into map number 2, Numbani. See if it's going to be a 2-0 lead for Combox Spirit of Luxury Watch Blue on their best hybrid map. It's going to tie us up 1-1.
We've got it, and we've got it straight on to Numbani. Gamsu trolling us once more, but I actually do want to see the Torbjorn on the defense of this first point, because we see it a lot, and Torbjorn's my favorite.
Yep, there's Swedish Dwarf. Going to be very strong on that high ground to really delay the first few pushes. We'll see if Twilight sticks with it. Oh, Risa sounds real sad in Korean.
Yeah. She's also real dead. As
Yeah, not fake dead, not this time.
Yeah, Combox Spirit just going for the full hard reset right now. You know, you got to get that suicide in there to make sure that, you know, your defense is ready. You're going to shake off the sillies from your control point.
Well,
Get right in here.
We saw the rise of triple DPS on Numbani in the promotion tournament on this map specifically. And it looks like Luxury Watch Blue, with what they've set up with so far, do want to run that soldier attack. It's going to be Luna, who's normally the secondary support, going to be on that soldier. So can it provide a little bit of extra healing? We'll see if the accuracy is good as Pine looks to be on the Pharah.
I find it really interesting as well because Pine, of course, known for his hit scan characters, now thinking about heading towards the Pharah. And LW Blue, if they were to actually switch over to a Mercy, which they are not, this was going to be the first time, but we'll see how Pine fares, sniping people out from the sky.
They'll definitely change their setup if this one goes really poorly, but they want to win this even without a res. This triple DPS sometimes just wins you the point immediately if you shock your opponents with it.
Oh, good sleep dart immediately, but Twilight's going to fall down. I was going to mention this. He's decided to go for the Reaper. It doesn't look to be all that successful thus far, but Pine's going to fall down as well as Architect's going to even things up. And Sebiobi, he's also going to fall. Nicely played. Oh, no, he's going to be able to pick up the mech. I apologize, as Gamsu now going to be able to take down the rest of them. Asher doing work off to the side as well, and Combox Spirit defending nicely so far. Drawing boards may need to be looked at here, Wolf, for LW Blue.
I think so. You know, the question is this solo support for the Pharah, especially with the reduction of the radius of Lucio's heals, going to be enough to make this work? Yes, Luna can provide some extra healing with the soldier, but not for a Pharah. She needs to be on the ground to get that soldier heal. Here's the pick for Pine, though, already.
He's doing his best to try and prove you wrong here, Wolf, but is it going to be enough as Twilight's going to answer that one with a kill onto Luna? Oh, self-destruct comes in, doesn't find any action. Giannis is going to take down Twilight once again. This Reaper doesn't seem to be working as there's the sleep dart once more, but gets woken up immediately. And look at how far LW Blue have pushed up. The tac visor goes down as Asher down to 1 health, but still survived. Finally, the rocket is going to come in and say goodnight. He survived for a long time. Now Pine's still trying to get there onto this point. They haven't got any ticks. There's still a lot of control.
Yeah, they just have a really accurate Pharah, but the real talk here is that Pine can't get close enough to do the damage he wants to. He has to play so conservatively because he only has the heal from Gambler. Can't actually make any big dive plays. We're going to see the Nano actually onto Sleepy Bear here.
And it's just going to hang out with it for the moment.
They're real confident, I suppose. The defense so far.
Yeah.
Says hello.
We are going to have another self-destruct very soon in Gamsu. That Primal Rage is going to be there. Sleepy Bear getting taken down low, but there's the tac visor. Asher immediately falls down as Twilight does answer with a kill onto Pine, but they're just trading at the moment. It's a bloodbath at this first point. Twilight doing some work, but not necessarily being able to get to where he wants to. And the zap battles coming in here. Architect, in the meantime, takes down Gambler, so that is a lot of support missing.
Yeah, and Twilight's about to have the Death Blossom. We may even see a Nano Blossom coming in. I mean, this is a crazy
The
good
Beyblade?
hold. Yeah, the Beyblade coming back, man. Oh, is he going to switch? No, he's just down on top of these stairs. But
You can't switch if you get Death Blossom to
No,
come up.
of
There it
course.
is.
I mean, this is a dominant hold. OVERWATCH Blue, they're now switching Pine onto the Genji, but it feels too little too late. They were so unwilling to change the comp when it didn't work, running the solo support Lucio for the Pharah. No success, no Rocket Barrage, and we're going to see this just waiting. He's going to just drop it down with the protection here of
Jumps
the defense
right
matrix.
in there. Doesn't actually get any kills with it. Softens up their lineup of LW Blue, but Twilight probably would have wanted more. A lot of healing to come down, so he's going to be okay, and there are a lot of ultimates remaining. There's the self-destruct just to try and disrupt, but Sound Barrier is there to answer. Sleepy Bear back in the mech now, and everything should be fine. Pulse Bomb's up here for Saebyeolbe, and he's going to need to be the Saebyeolbe this team always needs.
Kamso lives
Try
here
and get something.
Yeah, he lives with the Primal Rage. He's looking for a big Pulse Bomb, though. Self-destruct in here, going to
That's
get
going
the
to pick
double.
up Architect. Yeah, exactly right. Yenna's also going to be able to grab one off to the side, so only 4 remaining here, and Combox Spirit are melting. This looks like it could be the cap for LW Blue finally coming in.
You know the old saying, if it's not broken, don't fix it. But in this case, it was broken, and they fixed it. They switched their comp up completely. Back to what works better. Luna back onto that
I like how you use a saying that is completely irrelevant, but still make it work. That's
what I
very
do.
impressive.
That's my way. So Pine showing us his Genji now, and is nearing that Nano Blade with Luna also nearly with the Nano Boost as they round this first corner. It was a pretty solid hold for Combox, though. OVERWATCH doesn't have the best time pool in the world to work with, but they've got a lot of ults. They're about to pop online. So Bilby actually held the Pulse Bomb, too.
Now, unfortunately, we're not going to have any Nano Visors coming in with Ash's ultimate being up. Twilight still trying to charge that one as quickly as possible. Saebyeolbe still being frustrating up to the side as Architect might get popped. Good heal comes down.
It's really interesting how Combox decided to try to hold that too with a solo Ana. OVERWATCH now is switching as probably goes back to his Ana. And a Dragon Blade available here for Nano. Is looking to save it for now though.
Well, Gamsu was going nuts there. Managed to get the pick off onto Pine, but yes, you're exactly right. That Nano Blade now up. The only response here really is going to be that Pulse Bomb or something like that if they can get it. Looking at Twilight to try and get that Sleep Dart if he can. Architect going aggressive. Pulse Bomb comes in, but he's sleepy.
Very well done here. Gets the pick. Pine going to get the double with the deflection. Now Dragon Blade is popped with a Nano Boost. How many can he take with this one?
Can he tidy up the rest? I mean, this couldn't find anyone else because he'd already killed them. But look at this, LW Blue doing all the work. Don't need the Nano Blade if you're just going to boot people off the edge.
Yep, they are dominating now. Two just great team fights from them, and they're actually probably really frustrated they used the Nano Blade there, because how amazing would it be if this position was to reverse and they actually had both ults still available for the push coming around the corner.
Yeah, because they honestly didn't need it to do all of that work they just did. The Nano Blade was not really a part of it. Pine still being frustrating, charging up another Dragon Blade, but still quite a ways to go.
On the backside of things, Asher does have very soon that Nano Tac Visor.
Exactly, there in fact came up right now. Pine still dancing forward, trying to charge this as quickly as possible, but it's on Combox Spirit. They throw down that Nano Visor. They are doing some work. There's one kill as Luna is going to fall down, but that's the only target that is available here for Asher. Still able to claim back some control of the area.
It's very expensive, though, what they use to defend this. All they're going to have now for the next push is a Sound Barrier. Pine is nearly at that next Dragon Blade. Luna's going to switch, actually, into the Zenyatta.
Yeah, not thinking that another Nano Boost is going to be available in time, potentially, and wanting to make sure that they can get around this difficult choke point at this corner. Transcendence may be important as Gamsu just looking to try and get into position and time this flank effectively on the Winston, but he's taking 3 damage at the moment.
And because of the, add a nerf to the damage you get from the Discord Orb can actually make him more powerful in terms of DPS. They're going to pick onto Orochi here already. Saebyeolbe will still hold on to the Pulse Bomb, just waiting for the perfect moment to use it.
Oh, still doing so much work, though. He doesn't need a Pulse Bomb. He's able to pick up everything. Gamsu's going to fall as well. The whole front line now taken out by one little Tracer. He grabs the other one onto Architect for the revenge. We all know who the Tracer player is here. Sebulbi is just going off.
I mean, he's going to cap the spawn with that pulse bomb. No one can get out here to delay this. They're
just
trying.
throws it in.
Okay, here's a sound barrier, but look, there's an answer with this Twilight coming up.
Well, see whether it actually can be enough. You're exactly right. Transcendence was there. As Mako, he's going to be able to get Sleepy Bear's mech. We'll see whether he can hold on to his own, though, as Pine's going to get critted to the face. Nice work by Architect. Try and come back after what was pretty awful with what Sebulbi was able to do to him. Now still dancing around this fight. Low health bars everywhere. Sebulbi finally going to fall as the mech's taken out as well. Some semblance of control now back for Combox Spirit as they're pushing the payload back once more. Only 10 seconds to go, and can LW Blue actually make it back to the final point? I'm not sure whether they even can. That timing from Combox Spirit on the defense. He's launched his way in.
They have the sound barrier.
Yeah, Gambler threw that one down. He's going to fall immediately as there's the attack visor. Asher with the defense. Has the nano boost there as well for good measure, and the soldier tears them apart. Gamsu helping out.
No one can get on this point to keep the overtime going. There's the self-destruct to make sure.
The celebratory self-destruct, as we like to call it, as Asher takes down Mako. Successful defense, but they got it a very long way. So we'll see whether it's going to be a different story next round with Combox on attack.
They used all their ults to try to cap the spawn, having Sebulbi up there at the front to kind of just drop a pulse and hope they got multiple kills. And that was the idea, is to let's just cut them off the spawn and finish this point. When they failed, it felt a bit silly because they used all their ults. They didn't have any tools to hold on to that point. And then the accuracy coming out from Combox to defense. The really nice tack visor from Asher to seal the deal.
Yeah, and Asher's really been going off here as well. We're playing some excellent Overwatch.
Just a really interesting setup for OVERWATCH Blue to start things off with only Gambler for the heals for the Pharah. They switched it real fast, and since then they took really consistent fights up until the end, and Sebulbi holding on that pulse bomb for so long. It was also an interesting defense for Combox with only the solo support on and no Lucio for the majority of that time. So we're seeing solo supports on both teams actually used very briefly there on the first point.
Well, Combox Spirit now, Twilight thinking about heading back towards the Sombra. Quite liked the Reaper, personally. I mean, the ultimate didn't quite do anything, but I just like Reaper in general, and I like the fact that Numbani is certainly one of those maps where a lot of adaptation. I feel like we haven't got to the cookie cutter build yet for this map, especially on attack. So Combox, they're going to try something completely different as well. None of this solo Pharah that you were talking about previously.
At least that's not what they're showing us right now. It looks more like Architect wants to run the standard dive cop with the Genji. We'll see if Twilight sticks with this Sombra. I have a feeling he's going to switch to the Ana instead, and we'll have a more normal 2-2-2.
Speaking of cookie cutter, that is most certainly the option.
Oh, he's going to go for the Zenyatta instead, actually, looking for that big Transcendence. Not a Twilight like I randomly called it earlier, but it's going to be him on it this time.
Hey, now it definitely is a Twilight. You can't ever get it right.
Oh, he switches back.
Oh, nice. Okay, so this is much more fun.
Mind gamey in terms of the fan service here. Play with our hearts.
Yep. That's what you got to do, man. These guys are entertainers. Spine now using that high ground, as you generally do. We saw Asher do this very, very well to defend this first point for a long time. But look at this. The Twilight flank, making sure he can get in, hack all of these health packs.
We'll see what he gets done with this and look for the back door, if you will. But Sebulbi's already spotted him. Actually did a ton of damage.
Yeah, exactly. Ash is going to fall down here as Pine's able to pick that one up, and Sebulbi takes out Twilight.
Felt a little bit forced there, the Sombra. Unfortunately, not really getting the value Twilight was looking for. He's up to 72% for the EMP, so it looks like he'll stick with it for now.
Yeah, Gamsu's going to fall down as well. This first push really not working out for Combox Spirit.
Definitely not. They're going to have to reset here. A lot of time bought already for LW Blue.
Remember, it took them a long time to grab this first point as well, so Combox Spirit shouldn't be disheartened. You know, you've got a few more tries.
All right, let's
Still
see
3 minutes on the clock.
How they use this EMP. They don't have any ults to pair it with, but as we saw already on the ball, you don't necessarily need it. He's just going to straight damage farm this.
Yeah, gets himself out before he's in too much trouble, so should be all right. But remember, single support. Twilight being sort of more of a pseudo, now has the EMP available.
Let's see if he waits for the Dragon Blade here to go in for the big wipe, the big cleanup, or if he's just going to pop it down early. Okay, looks like he's just going to jump in to the front lines. There's the EMP, gets multiple hacked as a result, but he goes down immediately. There's no Dragon Blade for the follow-up. Sebulbi gunning them down on the high ground.
Architect is building this very, very quickly, though. Will have it, but is it too late? And Sleepy Bear is demech'd Twilight's going to respawn, but Gamsu's getting cut down, and Asher needs to be so careful. That's the double kill as Sleepy Bear loses his mech and his life, and Gamsu's going to fall to Pine.
And Architect pops the Dragon Blade,
Oh
but for
no,
what?
just gets taken out immediately.
That's painful. He popped it at like 2% health and then immediately died right afterwards. So there's no way that push was going to have the cohesion here. They're going to stick with the comp though. Twilight continuing to build ult meter here. He's already back up to 25%. As
But
he looks
look
for
at
another
LW
EMP.
Blue. They've got 5 ultimates available.
Yeah.
This defense is feeling
Look at this.
pretty simple.
Let's watch this. He wanted a 1v1. Ends up getting slept and killed.
Slept and destroyed.
Ouch. But even still, with the rest of his teammates down, it just felt
Asher.
unnecessary.
That was a stunning snapback. Went down to 2 health. There's the nano boost being utilized. Twilight's jumping around, but Pine, look at this. The tac visor with that nano boost doing all the work, but Architect's the one that's able to grab a couple of kills here for Combox Spirit. Are they going to be able to make this one work out? Ash is going to take down Pine, so that tac visor just wasn't enough,
Still
and
has the
Mako's
pulse.
going to fall. In goes Combox, and they've almost wiped LW Blue.
Yeah, they did it without the Dragon Blade as well. It was Gamsu getting the pick there onto Pine. Pine really completely neutralized. He used his tac visor there, but it was Gamsu who actually got on top of him, popped the bubble on him, and he just died basically immediately afterwards without finding value there. So they're cost efficient in terms of ults for Combox attack. They get this take, and Twilight's still going to stick with the Sombra, might switch afterwards. It's a little bit tougher to make this work while you're escorting a payload down the streets phase here.
Still a lot of sideways to get through for those flanking EMPs as well, especially with the creative E use. So we'll see what he's going to be doing, and he does throw down the EMP right there. Now Architect trying to clean up with this Dragon Blade. Can't quite find the targets. There it is finally, but he's ran out. Architect does grab down Luna, but look at this. The rest of the team was enough. Gamsu doing so much work on the front line.
Oh,
And there it is.
gets the
See you
last
later,
pick
Gambler.
on the Gambler as well. And that's out of the Dragon Blade, so he builds up to 30% with that as well. And it's kind of these funny Dragon Blades we're seeing tonight where it doesn't necessarily matter that you're using it. You're getting the kills anyways because of your teammates. The coordination.
And you're creating such a target for yourself as well. So everyone's like, oh, get the Genji. And then there's a big monkey zapping you in the back of the head, and you can't do anything about that whilst you're worrying about this guy. Discord Orb does some work, and Architect is going to fall down. Twilight answers, though. Giannis is going to fall.
It's so difficult to do anything about the Genji anyways when you're EMP'd. You can't use any of your abilities or your escapes. And the EMP usage, it's been built very quickly, but it's also been always a 3, 4-man, 5-man EMP. That's the consistency we've known from Twilight.
And his aim onto Luna as well. I mean, nullifying the potential use of these sleep darts is so important as he's now just trying to get that harassment off, picks up his own health pack quite nicely as he snaps back to it. Now Asher looking for that optimal moment to put down the pulse bomb. Primal Rage is there as LW Blue are looking for the defense and the disruption, but Ash is too slippery.
Yeah,
Giannis takes down Gamsu though. This could be important.
This is going to be a really important moment for Luxury Watch Blue. If they can make the tac visor work with the Nano, that's going to be their best tool for defense. They also have the time buyer there with the self-destruct, but Twilight's going to look for an EMP. They need to make sure they can neutralize Twilight first because his translocator usage is actually perhaps the most impressive part of this player. He always drops in the middle of the fight, teleports in and drops the EMP, so look for that in this next fight. If he can actually neutralize those ults, they might just win this right now.
Yeah, invisibility's going to come down. Is he going to do it? He jumps right forward and throws down the EMP. Lots of damage coming in as the self-destruct is trying to be frustrating, and there's the Dragon Blade. Architect, can he clean up? Pine's already dead, and that is so incredibly important. He used the ultimate as well, and that was immediately wiped out, and now you can see the control from Combox Spirit. They just need to make it onto this point to go up 2-0 in this series already.
They have the self-destruct to use to actually make sure they can finish this off. Looks like Sleepy Bear is going to get ready to pop it here at the last second.
Oh, he's been slapped though, and no one's going to shoot him now. Architect is going to fall down. Combox Spirit's losing a lot of their DPS.
They still have a lot.
Mech's going to die.
They still have a lot of time to work with here, though, to build another EMP to make this work. They will have enough time to build that Dragon Blade as well. Sleepy Bear lived up to his name in that last fight. That was the last nail they could have put into the coffin there with the self-destruct, but good control there, good crisis management from LW Blue. They are a long way away from building that nano visor again, though, which is what that EMP really helped to neutralize. And Twilight, as you can see, nearly has another one available already. And he's going to look for an angle here to finish that off.
Yeah, just hacking as many of these as possible. Does so, and that's now up to almost 100%. He will have it as Janus in this enclosed space with the Primal Rage doing a lot of work, getting rid of the members of Combox Spirit. Not a lot of answer now. I mean, this EMP does need a lot of coordination.
Okay, here we go. There's a
Oh.
translocator. What a beautiful translocation in. Gets a huge EMP. Going to pick off Pine on his own.
Twilight's just taking matters into his own hands. Asher now as well with the Pulse Bomb available if anyone's going to stick around on the side of LW Blue. There's a minute remaining, and Combox Spirit need to try and get this. Sebiobi is in a whole host of trouble as Architect has that Dragon
has it.
Blade
He has
if he
it.
needs it. And look at this, Combox Spirit getting all the kills,
Giannis-
and it's now desperation for LW Blue.
Giannis used that Primal Rage earlier, didn't find anything from it. He wishes he had it now, but he doesn't. The Sound Barrier is all they have desperately to try to hold. They do have the pick on the Twilight, but Architect still has that Dragon Blade.
Oh, good deflection there as well from Architect as Sleepy Bear finds Sebiobi. And Architect now jumping in. They've got the Sound Barrier themselves. Combox Spirit with so many tools, but look at Pine doing work with this tack visor that he always seems to be able to charge in an instant. Doesn't quite find the kills. Janice gets down Gamsu, and that means a lot of frontline now missing as Twilight's being annoying once again. Oh, Asher's so lucky to get out of the firing line of this soldier.
Almex can't get the consistent picks. They need multiple picks to make this work. This is their last chance here on this second map, Numbani.
In goes Janice, and LW Blue, it looks like they may have held. Pine's going to take down Sleepy Bear. There's another EMP, but it feels like desperation on the side of Combox Spirit.
The longer respawn's a big problem for them here. They can't get back onto the point. That's the cut onto Twilight. It looks like this is now finally going to be a hold for LW Blue. Asher with the last chance delay.
The
They will win
classic
Numbani.
Tracer maneuver, and that's going to be it. The overtime wears down. Nicely done by LW Blue when Combox looked like they had so much control moving towards that last stage. 3 minutes as they rounded that corner at the end.
They just couldn't get enough consistent kills. They had control of the fight, but they needed to get consistent kills after that first win because with a longer respawn coming in so slowly for the attacking team, the defending team will always have the advantage for their faster respawns coming in right back onto the point to keep that overtime going, or to delay that overtime, I should say. Twilight, though, really impressive. I feel like it's not about his cloaks or his harass or how well he's putting the health packs. It's about the translocation usage that he's using to get these big 4 or 5-man EMPs. Such a terrifying player to deal with, but it wasn't enough to get them those consistent picks to win the second map.
Yeah, and look, it wasn't necessarily even just the EMPs as well. It's what he did afterwards. He knew that everyone was incapable of using most of their buttons, and so he takes down the high-priority targets by himself. I mean, Sombra's got a massive clip, and if your accuracy's strong, which Twilight's most certainly is, they're able to do a heck of a lot of work, and we saw him, I mean, just solo-killing Pine in the backline of these team fights over and over again.
Yeah, it feels like for LW Blue, if Pine can use his tack visors well in the defense, obviously it's a much easier time for them, but that's something that Combox looked to abuse to pick him off each and every time they went in for the dive.
Yeah, and that's going to even out the scoreline as well. LW Blue on one of their favorite maps, able to do a bunch of work here against Combox Spirit, but Combox Spirit's still looking strong. We are going to have a short break, but when we get back, it is going to be game number 3. risky business going on right now, Wolf.
All right, he's just
You're a man with an animal name. Tell us what's happening right here.
Well, I think he's just going to try to stay up on the high ground as he's hanging out. No bananas up there, but he's going to.
If only this monkey had a sniper rifle. Imagine all the work he could get done.
All right, we'll see what Giannis is
Still
going to look
there.
for. He's going to look for the dive in from the backside. Here he comes, looking for the pick onto the Zenyatta, jumping on the Twilight, then
massive
insta-pick.
damage.
This is the type of play I was talking about you expect to see from Giannis, usually on the Reinhardt for the Earth Shadow, but with Reinhardt moving out of the meta, going to be seeing it with the Gorilla instead. This is the kind of play that he's been using consistently,
He's
man.
getting back up there. We're going to need the cam. Come on, guys. We need monkey cam.
All right, getting back up there indeed. Okay, so new guerrilla tactics on Bull Sky. You saw it here first.
It's guerrilla warfare.
Guerrilla warfare, that's the way. Okay, so Luna now up to 65% with that nice bit of time bought by Giannis to have the EMP.
And actually, Combox Spirit going to switch over to the pharmacy composition. Luna's already able to take down Oporoshi off to the backside. Now Architect is trying to find these rockets. No sneaky monkeys have been sighted as of yet. They may need to change up this tactic because you don't need to worry about it quite as much when you got these charged up rockets coming in.
Okay, Luna's got the EMP ready. This is going to be the way they attempt to hold this. Going to wait for the commitment in before they use it, so a lot of flexibility here for Luna as to how he wants to use this exactly. Going to rehack this health pack.
Yep.
Comex doesn't really have any ults to work with right now because they've been playing so conservatively. They haven't built very much of a charge. Here's the EMP coming down as they dive in. A great angle here from Luna.
Janus already able to take down the Mercy as well. This is very important, but Luna eventually falls. But has he got enough work done? That is the question. Architect still doing work from the skies, but doesn't have that pocket Mercy anymore. That concussive rocket's going to be so important, but he's going to get sniped out by a Diva. I would never have expected to say that one. Sleepy Bear's now going to fall out of that mech.
Yeah,
and it's going to clean that one up.
It's just important they picked off Twilight first there for the fight, and Luna's already nearly at another EMP. It's just how Somer works as a hero. They're going to have the Dragon Blade as well. Combox is going to be hard pressed to make this one work. It's important. It's very critical that Twilight survives. This is so funny. So important that Twilight survives at the next push and has that available. Without it, I don't think this push is going to be possible. They're going to build up a lot of ults, though. They're going to have the rocket
Luna's
barrage.
already dead. Sleepy Bear's able to get that one down.
Yeah, we're just watching the monkey instead.
This is much more important, Wolf. I understand that, but he jumps his
that's
way
what I'm talking
in.
about.
He's
They're
looking for the
pick.
pick-off.
He got it.
Tries to throw down the res because he knew he was going to die, but Pine able to pick off Twilight in the end. Saviobi also doing some work here as there's the jump in from Gamsu, but it's too late. He's going to get struck down by the Genji.
All right, looking to full hold this first point, and Combox needs that ult. They need the res. They're going to have 6 ults and the res. If they can't make it work with this, can they make it work with anything? That's the question. Luna's going to look to EMP to desync this.
It's only a minute to go, though, as Sleepy Bear's trying to play this front line. Look for the monkey, guys. He's not up there because, of course, our camera would certainly be on it.
Okay, here we go. Looking for the hack, actually. Fails to get the hack. Actually has to translocate early. Can't use that for the EMP now. Just going to pop it in the doorway.
Yeah, throws that one out. Sandberry is waited for, but then utilized. We do have the res, but Twilight's going down very, very quickly. Architect in trouble. Twilight also so low, and there it is. They get the pick on the Mercy. No more resurrection, but they're holding onto their ultimates. Good double kill coming in as Janus takes down Twilight and Pine gets rid of Architect, but they trade the kills, and now Combox Spirit, last-ditch effort on this point to try and get to it.
Asher doing a lot of work here. Sleepy Bear going to help pick up the double here. Mech goes out of the mech, going to get knocked out. Eventually, he actually gets his mech back, but doesn't matter. Can't get onto the point, but he bought a lot of time. But Twilight's back now with the res.
Yeah, and he's going to be able to get in here. If Combox can keep everyone down, then they will cap this point. But that is the minimum time that you can possibly get to try and capture the next point. I don't know whether the snowball may come in. Of course, Volskaya, the classic snowball capture scenario.
Well, I'm going to look for it, but the real problem for LW Blue was that Luna's EMP was so desperate and disjointed. He wanted to use it for a big one. He kind of desperately used it once he had to use his translocator. He was like, well, I have to use this now. If I die, I'm not going to have it, and they will stomp us. So use it in this awkward moment because he got found early and was harassing a little bit there. It's a big problem. As Combox now has built up several ults, they used the res, actually. We're watching Asher.
Yeah, LW Blue actually taking a lot of damage here off to the side. Asher can't complete any of these kills as Architect now looking for it. Pine, can he land the rocket? No! Oh no, it's going to be Gamsu that picks up the kill in the end. Architect didn't necessarily need to, as there's a self-destruct. Mako takes down Architect. The danger of being Farah and being in these open spaces, and Sleepy Bear's able to answer. Luna falls, Gambler does as well, but Twilight's answered for on the side of Janice.
Luna had a decent EMP, switching now over to the Zenyatta as this push is held.
And it looks like the call is for Combox Spirit just to reset, try and get this one working out. You saw it was just the dart off the edge by Asher. They are going to be able to get the reset. So look at this. We got approximately 3 minutes, Combox Spirit, to try and cap this final point.
Well, Luna switches off the Twilight, or excuse me, off the Sombra. Twilight switches into the Sombra, so it's going to be kind of the Sombra's always in the game now.
Here's the switcheroo.
The aggro Sombra, the attack Sombra here, trying to come in and get a good EMP. He's already built up 25%. Pine's going to pop the Dragon Blade.
Orochi's going to be taken down immediately as well as a result. So Pine able to get the work done, and that is a lot of the support done. Remember, in this Sombra composition, there's no other heals. They don't even have a soldier. As now Twilight trying to get his work done, but look at this. They're just too healthy. Orochi now trying to make his way back, but look at this. Combox just pushed away from that point. Going to have to try and find a different tactic.
They could try to use the Twilight EMP here to have an angle to get that Dragon Blade. Doesn't have it yet. He has it now. We'll see if he pops down in this little choke point. Probably best to wait for the rest of his team to be ready for him.
Yeah,
you have
just building
Gamsu
up the rest of that ultimate.
Yeah, Gamsu has his Primal Rage too, but they want that Dragon Blade, if possible, to get the wipe that they need to take the second point.
Yep, looking for the hacks. Architect there with him as well. And you're right, building ultimates, trying to get in there. There's the EMP from Twilight. Sound Barrier goes down immediately as well. But the answering Sound Barrier was early enough. Mako gets rid of the mech, and Pine is going to fall, is going to be able to pick up, Twilight.
Hey, Architect here on the point. He's got the Dragon Blade now in just a second, but the Diva ult's going to keep him away. He does get that hacked health pack. See if he comes back in with it. Saebiobi gets the pick, and it looks like this push will be halted in its tracks.
Once again, we've only got a minute to go as well. They're not going to get many more of these opportunities as Saebiobi goes down low, but he's got the work done that he needed to. Mako is going to jump off the edge. Don't know whether he necessarily needed to, but just didn't want to be dragged around. He's going to be up for the next push in as well, as now Saebiobi looking for that flanking maneuver, trying to get himself into the right position, and LW Blue have so much confidence.
Okay, Architect, again, has that Dragon Blade, wants to hit it with the EMP. They have 40 seconds left. Oh, look at this coming from behind, looking for the pickoff.
Doesn't have the pulse bomb, but look at this, lots of damage. Janice able to take down Gamsu, and Combox Spirit are melting at the hands of LW Blue. The control that they've had throughout this entire map.
Twilight needs to get that big EMP. He's nearly available with it. Asher needs to respawn. They're going to have one more chance to make this work. They have several ults. They're not going to have the Sound Barrier, but they're going to have to go without it. Here comes Twilight. He's looking for it. It's going to be about him and Architect, the dastardly duo that try to retake this second point.
We got both EMPs available on both sides as well, as Pine had switched over to the Sombra.
Okay, he's going to try to use this translocator potentially to come from behind. So the EMP.
Yeah, gets in there with the EMP, and we've also still got the Transcendence. No, we don't. Luna had fallen down. Saebiobi gets rid of Gamsu, who once again has died on that front line. Architect doing some work with the Dragon Blade, but now not quite finding the targets. Janice just a little bit too strong this particular stage, but Combox Spirit have at least made it onto the point. Transcendence now comes out from Luna to try and re-establish some control.
This is really bad for Combox. They don't have any ults except Sound Barrier here, and they need to get consistent pickoffs right now. Saebiobi has the pulse bomb. I'm going to look for the pick on the Gamsu. And
Asher able to falls down to Saebiobi, unfortunately, and Orochi throws down the ultimate just in desperation, but it looks like LW Blue are able to find some more control on this point.
The more consistent picks here. The Sound Barrier coming down as well.
We got another EMP if Pine wants it at the same time. He's just going to hold it. Nope, there it is. And that is going to be the control. The overtime wears down, and LW Blue successfully defend.
Saebiobi with that big pulse bomb kills the Tracer, which is a big tool that you use to buy time on the overtime to get more ults up. They used everything for the push. They had, there was EMP versus EMP. They didn't see exactly which where Pine hit, but the EMP of Twilight was not as good. It felt like there was not enough synergy there. Architect didn't get enough picks, and when you're attacking, just kind of how 2 capture works, you need to get 4 picks about, maybe even 5, and then continue to get those kills as the respawns come in, but it was LW Blue held on there.
It's about the stagger, right? You got to try and stagger these respawns as much as you possibly can. But you're right, LW Blue had a lot of control, and look, this is what we're expecting from the veteran side that finished third Season 2. And as LW Blue now move over to attack, see whether they're going to be successful here, because Combox Spirit still, it was a decent effort, but not going to be quite enough. Of course, this one of the most difficult maps to attack as far as 2-point capture is concerned.
Yeah, getting that second point is always very difficult, so baby steps, getting the first point, absolutely necessary here, of course. So I described the rules of basic 2-point capture. Let's see if we see this Pine Sombra again later on, by the way, because I feel like we didn't see too many shots of his specifically, but he looked really good on it.
Yeah, actually getting a lot of kills.
Yeah, and obviously he's a player that's used to playing, big, large clip heroes like the Soldier, so.
Yeah, and also like just has that hit scan prowess. If anyone's seen his McCree video, just popping people in the head over and over again.
Well, Twilight,
pretty impressive.
Twilight here is going to be on the Sombra once more on the defense. This is where he's made a name for himself. His Ana play was not massively impressive, wasn't weak by any means, but his Sombra was really where he's made that name for himself in the promotions tournament. Now he's going to be using it to defense. They want the full hold here, of course. Just take this map.
Yeah, well, I think everyone does if you're going to be defending.
That's right, but I mean, he's going to look to have consistent EMPs here. Already going to harass on the back lines now.
Yeah, able to just snap back there as well. I like it. The use of that is just translocator so important for Sombra players, and Twilight has shown mastery over almost every aspect, as now we've got the flank come in from LW Blue. Good reposition from Combox Spirit, still reclaim the high ground on the other side.
Now Combox actually pushed all the way back to the edge there.
Yeah, in fact, Gamsu and Twilight were just biding their time, but they might get popped off.
Twilight's actually not building very much meter at all either, only at the 30 here.
Yeah, unfortunate. Should be able to throw some bullets in now as everyone from LW Blue turns up. Luna in a little bit of trouble taking fire.
Just trying to use this high ground position, moving in at 6, being very conservative, not overcommitting, actually keeping everybody alive here. They build up quite a bit of percentage themselves. Gambler nearly with the sound barrier. They may just try to push this right now.
Asha gets the 1v1, but LW Blue can get a whole bunch of picks. That's 2 dead. Make that 4 as Janice just bounds on top of Asha and Architect.
And that's going to be the cap here, very early, much faster for LW Blue. Say, Bilby fans himself, got this. Look, they went up onto the second floor there. They stayed as a 6-man group, and they didn't go in until they were sure they could get the picks and win the fight. Not actually trickling in. It was basically just a long one push, and it worked.
And the question marks that we had for LW Blue in the first 2 games have honestly, it feels like they've been answered here on Volskaya, because they have control and they have a plan moving in. As Twilight looking for that EMP, finds everyone on the side of LW Blue, has to snap back. Knows that he doesn't have the follow-up from the rest of his team, so Yolby doing a similar maneuver here off to the other side. And there is the EMP now as Combox Spirit are trying to go for some sort of fight. Off to the side, things are doing work, but Oporoshi Architect doing it as well. As Asha throws in the pulse bomb for good measure. Combox Spirit say, yeah, we can still defend LW Blue.
That's how you make it work. Obviously, LW Blue, though, that was really efficient for them. They came in, they forced several ults to be used for Combox, including the EMP, but more importantly, the Dragon Blade. And now they have 6 ults for the next push, so that was basically an eco round for them. They came in, built up those 6 ults, and now they have all the tools in the game to come in and take this point, and there's no EMP to stop them.
Twilight. Can he do it? Nope. Of course, yeah, no EMP there.
It needs
I
to
got
build
excited as there's the Transcendence, actually. Luna starting this one up. Combox Spirit do need to try and defend, but it's so difficult. Subyolbi there as well with the sound barrier available from Gambler, and they're holding these, staggering these ultimates so nicely. Subyolbi needs to be careful. He's got the pulse bomb.
Okay, Sleepy doesn't get the pick on the Pioneer, doesn't actually get to use his Dragon Blade. This is actually quite critical, but 2 are still down here. Meko does have this big self-destruct. He's going to try to use this to buy time.
Yeah, Twilight able to get a hack off, and there's the self-destruct kill onto Oporoshi. That is important here on the side of LW Blue as Twilight's controlling this point. Throws down the EMP just before he dies, but I don't know whether it's going to be enough. Asha gets in there. Yanis is going to fall down. It's Gamsu is able to pick up that pesky Tracer.
Getting the consistent picks here. This is how you need to do it. Pine's back now with the Dragon Blade. Doesn't have, the Transcendence, doesn't have the sound barrier, but doesn't need it apparently here with this Dragon Blade to finish off several kills.
Oh my goodness,
and they're getting
this
the
guy's
D6
going
spots.
nuts. Look at that. Architect is going to get stabbed in the head as well as LW Blue looking to try and grab this one with 4.5 minutes on the clock.
This
They
feels
picked it up so far. They only need to get a very small way further. And look at this. Combox Spirit are just falling apart.
They just have this desync spawns. They're trying to buy as much time as possible. Here comes out Architect's Dragon Blade, but he dashes off, and that will be the cap. The ults there, they had 6 of them, and as you said very astutely, they used them not in tandem, not completely together, but actually kind of stacked them so that they were a Transcendence, then a Sound Barrier, then a Dragon Blade, which came much later.
And so deliberately as well. I mean, Transcendence just to get onto the point, Sound Barrier to then control the point. It was beautiful to see from LW Blue. I'm surprised we didn't see it as much, as I mentioned before, in the first couple of maps, but that was a dominating victory on Volskaya.
It's obviously very easy to win a map like this when you hit that first point so dominantly without using any ults on your first push. Then you have 1 eco round to build up the 6, and in almost every case, 6 ults versus a few, especially when there's no EMP for the defense, it's a pretty easy attack in. And it just feels like, to me, mechanically, the play we're seeing out of Pine and Sabilby vastly outperforming so far Twilight, Architect, and Asher is part of the reason why this is just so easy for LW Blue on this 2-point.
Yeah, and I have been impressed by some plays that have come out of Asher, but you're right. I mean, it's consistency as well out of Combox Spirit that just hasn't quite been there. And we saw Gamsu before. He was looking quite calm and collected. I can certainly see some furrows appearing in that brow as it is match point.
All right, it's time for a tactical pause here
Oh,
for Combox.
Wolf, it's your moment.
I love this music. When we were doing the rehearsal, I got real hyped. So the big question is, I feel like the cohesion for Combox is not there, and there's so one-trick pony on this Twilight Sombra right now, forcing it to try to work even when it's not switching off, and that's a big issue. Don't forget that it's hard for Architect and Asher to make the plays when they don't have the ult economy to stop it. They don't have anything to pair with those Dragon Blades. They can't get these pulse bombs off when they're down members. And it's definitely been a frustrating start for Combox here, as LWBU, they had that struggle on the control point, but now they're on match point with this win on Volskaya. And I think really the coach here for Combox is coming in and just trying to get everyone re-motivated, because that last defense was pretty weak.
I was going to say, like, mentality is a word that you just used and is so incredibly relevant for this particular moment, because Combox Spirit are not a team that's good at 2-point capture maps. Like, that is not their wheelhouse. That's not what they really want to be doing. And now moving into the hybrid, the escorts, like, that's where they want to get their work done. So now they just need the correct mindset, right? So having this opportunity with the tactical pause now, and you can see, like, coach is making sure that they're staying positive. It's very, very important here for these guys.
My biggest issue for Combox really is just that they're being outplayed by Pine and Sabilby. When you compare the skill of Asher and Architect so far, it just feels like, yes, they're somewhat handicapped because the ult economy has been better for LW Blue and there's more tools for them, but they're so focused on making this play when the EMP comes down. But when there is no EMP, or when Twilight is picked consistently because he's been a little bit over-aggressive, especially on Volskaya, then you don't have that synergy, you don't have the EMP, and when you don't have the Dragon Blade, you can still win the fight if you have an amazing EMP, but when that doesn't happen, it feels like Combox Spirit has question marks over their heads as they're trying to figure out
exactly.
that their entire plan has gone wrong.
Trying to work out exactly what they can do when everything falls apart. And of course, that is difficult just in general, but maybe it's about changing up the strategy. Maybe make sure that you have a fallback strat to use if that EMP isn't going to work. Because, I mean, I understand that, it charges up so incredibly quickly. You can just make compositions that revolve around utilizing that whenever you want to, but they just don't look like they're quite able to pivot in time if it just falls apart.
And I feel like if they take the map choice here, which almost every team has, and go to Route 66, it would be a map that suits the Sombra play of Twilight so far. And it's one of their better maps for Escort, but I almost want to see them move away from the Sombra, but it's hard to actually change your game plan in the middle of a series like this when it was working in the beginning and it's starting to get more and more countered by Luxury Watch Blue. We've brought out their own Sombra. So I'm hoping for the Route 66. They need to avoid... the other problem with Route 66 is it's Luxury Watch Blue's best map. So if they want to go for the Sombra play, I think that's the map to take it on. It's not going to be as good as Dorado, for example, but if you go into Route 66, you're playing into LW's best map. Let's find out, Max, what it's going to be here.
We'll see whether it is going to be Combox turning this one around as attack pause is over. Game 4 coming up, and match point here for LW Blue.
Pine, it looks to be in great spirits. He's had an amazing debut match today. Not any disappointing moments from this player so far. Even got to play his own Sombra. It's felt almost like a bit of fan service against the Sombra of Twilight. It's him and Saebyeolbe that have carried this best of 5 so far, especially on Volskaya. And it's time for Combox to either change it up or step it up with those EMPs, as they will have map selection here.
Oh, could it be?
They're gonna
could
go
we be
to-
going? It's Jibby!
Jibby!
We're there!
It's
Wolf,
happening.
it's the dream!
Only
We've
for-
never been on a desk with someone that feels that Jibby's appropriate. Now we're here. Except for,
Okay.
you mentioned that Dorado wasn't necessarily a great choice for the Sombra play. You mentioned the fact that Route 66 is LW Blue's favorite map. Jibby makes sense.
You know, Luxury Watch Blue, 0-2 on Dorado, 1-2 on Gibraltar. Remember, Route 66 being their best map by far, so they avoid that here. Combox, I think they've got a special strategy prepared for the map. The question is, what will it be? Will it be back to the Sombra? Are they going to go into the Pharmacy Comp? They've tried both. And I feel like for this team, it's whether Twilight can empower his teammates. Does he get the res off, or is he denied by the mechanical skill? We're seeing Saebyeolbe harassing the Mercy so much, harassing
yeah.
even the Sombra. It's all about Twilight. Can he empower his teammates' DPSs or not? And in the first map, it was yes, but for the next two, absolutely not.
Well, if you can't do it, they're out. So LW Blue, match point. Let's get onto the map. We get it right onto Jibby. Wolf, that's what we get.
That's right. Jibby it is.
And do Combox have the plan?
There's a louder cheer for them this time.
Yeah.
Crowd seems to be
Cheering for the
cheering
underdog,
them.
man.
Yeah, the underdog feels strong as we go into Gibraltar. It will be Combox on the attack first.
And it's interesting. I mean, we say cheering for the underdog, but it's purely because of that Volskaya Industries map that was so incredibly controlled by LW Blue.
Now, will this be a real Widowmaker coming out from Pine? I hope so, and so does everybody else. As
Oh, yes.
This is the hero he's made most of his name on. The McCree, obviously, something he's very popular with doing as well, so he might switch to that if this doesn't work out initially. But I'm hoping we get to see some snipes. Combox definitely very well aware of his strong Widowmaker, so should have an idea this is possible they would be up against it as they poke out of the point for attack. They'll need to be careful. Looks like it's going to be a committal for Pine with 18 seconds left to go.
Yeah, it's a really interesting composition coming out here from LW Blue as well, just opting away from Lucio. Hasn't been many times that we've seen a team opt away from Lucio.
Yeah, it's really interesting as well with the res they have coming out here. They're really just relying on Pine very heavily and Saebyeolbe to harass when everyone's kind of ducking and covering against those shots. Orochi going to switch, of course, back to the Lucio now. Actually going to be on the Zenyatta, so no Lucio. It's a Lucio-less comp as Architect goes back to the Genji. Pine has the Mercy for the damage amplification. And that's really the main reason they're running it, not for the res potential. There's no Pharah yet. Pine may switch to that.
This is a very happy Widowmaker.
Well,
Boys, we're talking about it on Friday. If you manage to get that Mercy for the powered up shots as a Widowmaker, you're going to be feeling good as Payload looking to try and get stopped here.
Architect sneaks around the backside, looking at the pick on the Pine.
Massive work done here by Mako, though, as Gamsu's going to fall down. Asher just gets headshotted by Pine. There's a double as Architect's going to fall down. And yeah, you put that spray down, boy. This is what we're expecting out of this guy, and he has not disappointed.
The Architect had this really cool angle, and unfortunately wasn't able to really get the kill there. Good defense for Combox. Mako getting that first pick.
Asher wants to answer this.
Oh, God.
There's so much pride on the line, Wolf.
This is my solo queue all over again.
I know. Oh, Widowmaker's the best right now, don't worry.
Okay. Let's see if he can answer for it. He's going to try.
Sleepy Bear gets a ball thrown at him. Luna's going to grab that one. Saebyeolbe takes down Architect as well. And LW Blue, so much control
He has
this particular stage. Oh, my goodness.
He has the vision here with a visor. Looking for the pick onto Zenyatta, but they've bought so much time already with this where, you know, Asher is trying to make this Widow work. It just doesn't feel like a good idea. Rather than run something else because they're not able to make anything happen with this so far.
We almost have Nano Blade up here for Combox Spirit. Of course, Nano Boost still already there for Twilight as Gamsu's trying to get into this front line.
Okay. Oh, there's the pick on Asher. You don't want to duel with Pine. I'm not entirely sure why you would ever want to try that.
I don't even think he knew that he was dueling. He was just dead, straight out of nowhere.
Well, looking for the pick on the Architect as well. He's forced back. They're going to have a bunch of bolts here, including the Nano Blade, to try to push this through. So Luxury Watch Blue will see if they can hold on to the top of this for now.
A little bit of an unfortunate pulse bomb there as Pine's going to take down Architect as well. Didn't even need a crit by the looks of things. Already softened up was the Genji, and the power up here as well.
They have so much dive, but they lack the pulse bomb now, as you just mentioned. They're going to have this Transcendence. I feel like they're going to have to make this work now, or maybe they never round the corner ever. Okay, Gomsu going to start things off. He's going to have Primal Rage. Here's the Transcendence
Just
as well.
needs to try and get Pine out of there. I don't know whether it's necessarily going to be enough as Pine keeping himself safe, but has oh my god! Another Twitch kill onto Sleepy Bear now, who jumped on the Tracer. Mako takes down Asher as well, as there's the Recon Visor. Knows exactly what's going on, but it is going to be Architect that takes down Pine eventually, using that Nano Blade to great effect. He falls in the end. Luna grabs that kill as Oporoshi is going to answer.
Okay, this was finally the dive they needed to get past this, but it took them so much time. And even though LW Blue gets wiped and Combox pushes closer towards that first checkpoint, I feel like this Widowmaker pick was absolutely well worth it. And Gambler's already built up a res, so Pine could switch off this whenever he feels the need to. They're going to have that res available, so really strong position here in terms of both ult economy and how much time was bought for LW Blue. And Asher's going to try to meet him again. I just don't know if this is a wise choice. He has the ult at least, that sort of advantage.
Yeah, and in goes Gamsu there as well, grabs himself that health pack. As Architect takes down Pine, this is so important. Twilight falling very low as well. Looks like Combox Spirit should be able to make it to this first point as LW Blue actually answer back. Sleepy Bear's going to fall down. The Tracer battle was won by Sebyolbi. And Janice is able to take down Oporoshi as well. Jumps on top of Asher. Just the Goomba Stomp coming in here.
No ults for Combox Spirit here to actually utilize. 3 are down.
Yeah, and Pine comes back and immediately pops one for himself. Looks like the hold might come in as Architect's trying to dance on top as, oh my god,
Pine. Sleepy Bear gets killed again by Pine. That's a huge problem. Architect has to somehow get this Dragon Blade. If they can hold on long enough, that might be the way in, but it's going to be so difficult with 2 picks already. He's down. That's no Dragon Blade here.
And Oporoshi's going to fall. Asher's going to follow, and Gamsu, the last one to get cleaned up, and cleaned up they are. LW Blue, don't even let them make it to the first checkpoint.
And they win off the back of Pine's Widowmaker.
That's
absolutely.
Some Jibby destruction, Wolf.
Yeah.
My God,
well,
you're exactly right. That Widowmaker was just stunning to watch.
I have to say, there were a lot of insta-gibs, if you will, with those Widowmaker shots, the instant headshots to get the kills. And
we know that this is awful, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, but we're not even going to apologize. It's just beautiful.
Yeah, it's our wonderful inside joke on Jibby. The rest of the world, we shared it with them. Well, this looks rough for Combox now.
They're going to have to falling apart.
They have to hold the first checkpoint of this map now, and Pine is very likely to run the Widowmaker again, even on attack, with how well that worked. And there's a shot of him right now. Imagine being so famous for being a great Widowmaker, great McCree, having all this respect of your peers, being a strong streamer, and never actually being able to play that Apex game in front of the crowd, then coming in on your first day of OGN Apex, getting to play the Widow, and carrying with it.
Yeah,
it's got to feel great. You know, it's not even fan service at this point. It just felt like a super legit play. And he's going to look to play it again potentially here on the attack.
Well, we saw, of course, Asher trying to answer with the Widowmaker of his own last time around, as we are going to get that highlight reel. Boom!
Yeah, look at that.
Just looks too good.
Too good to be true. It's almost like I can't even believe it. He's got the damage boost and just so many picks. See emotes here. He knows what's up. He knows everyone's talking about him. Well, Combox has got to be down in the dumps in terms of morale right now, as that was a very hard hold for LW Blue, and now Combox is going to have to hold it just as hard, which is going to be so difficult on this map. It's almost unheard of to stop at the first checkpoint here.
It's a different composition as well. Combox Spirit are just going for that classic 2-2-2 composition. They've done so many times, opting out of the Tracer, which was maybe a little bit more popular, but otherwise very cookie cutter here, and we'll see whether they can make it work.
Yeah, it's
for defense on Jibby.
It's going to be that double DPS with Asher on the Soldier for the high ground. He needs to be careful not to get killed by Pine's Widow as he's sneaking around, looking for the shots.
Oh, finding them as well. Yeah, with that pocket. That was so close. Sebyolbi, though, doing the work while Pine isn't quite finding the shots and able to take down Architect.
They've already accomplished in 30 seconds what it took Combox several minutes to do in terms of pushing power.
Yeah, by several.
Lost the
I think
hunger.
it was certainly like at least 2.5. There was no time at all up on this higher ground. So Yolby takes down Twilight there as well. Gets the crits into the face.
They just gave up the high ground, and now they're going to have to defend around this corner. Sabielby's already got the pick on the Sleepy Bear.
Yeah, grabs the mech. Gamsu's able to take down Luna though, so a little bit of fight back here from Combok Spirit. But Sabielby's just being so frustrating off to the side. Recon Visor's there. Pine grabs the kill onto Sleepy Bear as Mako's able to take down Asher as well. Combok Spirit just looked to have completely melted. The mental is so
the kill on the
affected.
Architect.
My God,
Genji's
this
one-
guy's aim is so good.
Genji's one of the hardest characters in the game to kill with this. Sleep here on the Sabielby, no follow-up, sadly. And LW Blue has so many ults available here. Self-destruct going to come down for the first of them.
Yeah,
as
it's
Gambler
half
has
a
a
meter,
res.
though. They don't need to push this any way at all, and they are going to be able to secure this first series of Season 3 for LW Blue.
Okay, there they
There
do
it
it. That
is.
was super,
Stunning stuff.
super duper one-sided Gibraltar there.
The King's a Jibby by the looks of things on the side of LW Blue, and look at Pine. Look at that smirk on his face.
Well, there was
Like,
definitely,
yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
there's definitely some real confidence to pick Gibraltar into such a good Widowmaker player who's known for his Widowmaker play, and Pine just showed up. There's nothing else to say in this series, and then on the defense, Combok so timid, giving the high ground up immediately, not confident enough to tango with Pine's Widowmaker. Then they couldn't have the defense there around the corner because they let that high ground go so early. They didn't have any defensive ults to use. And LW Blue, they struggled on the first map, but it was very clean when it was Volskaya and Gibraltar especially.
And it was with all of the like hero switches as well. I mean, it just looked like Combok Spirit didn't have the plan for Gibraltar that they really needed. And then, you know, on defense, they're just going to go for like the super standard 2-2-2 dive composition and see whether it's going to work. There wasn't a strategy in mind, and honestly, I feel like mentality is such a big deal in this game. We saw it at Lunatic Hive versus Runaway in the grand final of Season 2. Like, it's the same sort of story as if you lose that mentality, the whole thing can just fall away because this game is so fast.
You need to have the ability to adapt in a series as well. It's very clear that Combok's mostly practiced the Sombra play with Twilight, was not as practiced on the dive, and when they switched to it, it looked much weaker, much less practiced. That adaptation is something that was sorely missed in this series, especially going into Gibraltar, where they played a dive comp on defense on the high ground, gave the high ground up. It was messy. And LW Blue basically walked over them. Almost felt like a free win there on Gibraltar.
Yeah, and it felt like a free win as well on Volskaya Industries. They just looked like the team that understood what they wanted to do every single time. And after that first win that came out, Combok Spirit looked great, getting that 2-0 on control. But from that point onwards, as soon as they lost a map to LW Blue, which was very competitive second time around, just was all she wrote, honestly. It just felt like they checked out.
I think it's just going to be back to the drawing board in terms of preparing, maybe not as all-in on one type of strategy, but having a more well-rounded style. And it's tough to really argue that Architect and Asher could keep up with the likes of Sabielby and Pine. They were just out-mechanically played, never really able to make those big Dragon Blade plays was Architect because he was sniped and killed by Pine. Twilight constantly harassed on the backline by Sabielby when he was running the Sombra, and they just couldn't